Hello, this is Will Faerber from Art to Ride, and today we're looking at the first submission by Irenia. She doesn't tell us much about herself, she just sends in the video. Her email looks like she's from Oregon. Looks very beautiful there where she is. And she does a very commendable job with this horse. Once again, of course, I've watched the entire video, so I know what we're about to see here. And she does a very, very good job, but she doesn't tell me how long she's been working on any of this, but everything I'm seeing, there's a few things I'm going to point out as we go on, but it's a really good job. I love how this horse is stretching in the trot. She's really getting him to come through like that when he gets long like that. And how lovely. And see how the horse looks like a ball rolling over the ground. Look how evenly the front and hind leg are moving together. As the horse stretches into the contact. It's very nice. Comes back to a walk. Same thing here. There, she gets him in a nice big swinging walk. He could be stretching down a little bit more, but this is really very good. Just going to change directions for us here. It would be interesting to know, as I said, I'm not sure how long she's been working on this, but this horse's neck is quite nicely developed. It's coming through, and I could actually see there in the trot work there that it was beginning to develop some thrust off the ground, which is really nice. It seems like a horse that must have been doing this for at least a little while, and how nicely the horse is connected across the back there most of the time. Now here what I'd like to do is to see her take a little more contact with the horse so the horse stretches on down into the contact. Remember, when we're riding in the stretch, it's not riding on a loose rein, it's riding on a long rein. When the horse is correct, we're always looking for that weight of the rein. Once again, how does the horse know it's doing anything correct if we're punishing it? If you're pulling on its mouth, you're punishing it. But on the other hand, we don't want to ride with such a long rein that if something goes wrong, that we don't have contact there. So I'd just like to see her shorten her reins a little bit and just get the horse a little deeper into the walk before she goes into the trot. Now, this is very good trot work here. Very nice. This is one of those people, one of those rare people that almost has their legs too far back. I'd like to see her lift her toe up and just get her heel down a little more and just lift her chest once again. Most people tend to ride a little bit too far over. I'd like to see her just lift up just a little bit more so that she could send the horse through from her legs a little more. But, you know, everything that's happening here is absolutely beautiful. I mean, look how this horse seems to be just floating and how deep it's getting underneath the body there. And you can see that when the reins were a little shorter there, the horse broke in its neck for just a moment, but then she immediately released and let it back out to where it belonged. This is really, really good work. Look how deep this horse is stepping. Now, I would have liked to see that transition be a little smoother so it wasn't quite so abrupt, to sit up and take your time so the horse continues to track through in the downwards transition. So take a little more time with those and just be careful about falling forward, because you kind of let yourself fall and all the weight kind of, you know, fell forward onto the horse's forehand a little bit. So just a little bit, what I see wrong with your position is just getting up, just stretching yourself up a little bit. Same thing here in the canter, absolutely beautifully done, beautifully round, stretching down over the back. So this is a horse that I see that's ready to start coming up in the other direction. So once you can get the full length of the horse's neck and top line, as she is doing here, that's absolutely beautifully done. Now all we do is just raise the pole up. So without taking any backwards tension, she would just bring the horse's head up a little bit. So same thing there when she got into trouble, you know, your shoulders came forward and you kind of let him get out from underneath you there a little bit. So I'd just like to see you lift those shoulders up and keep him coming through in your downward transitions a little more consistent contact. But all in all, this is very, very, very good work. And keep trying to get him out a little bit longer in that canter like that. You see sometimes he breaks a little bit back in the neck, but you do a really good job of letting go when he does, and that's what I want to see. Much nicer transition downwards that time. Send it on through a little more I'd like to see though. There you go. So get a little bit more active. Now this horse is also ready to begin sitting trot, so I suggest that for the next video you send me, I'd like to see you working a little sitting trot with this horse as I do watch my videos on the sitting trot. I do want you to take a look a little bit at your saddle, because it looks to me like you're sitting awfully far back in it and it looks kind of thin. So you might want to check out our video on saddle fit and just be sure that's all going well for you, because it just looks like maybe this saddle could get you a little more to the front than I'm seeing there, and it looks kind of paper thin there in the back. So a little more support might help the horse a little bit. But beyond all of that, you're doing a wonderful job here. I mean, those are small things that might help you a little bit, but you know, you're really getting the horse deep and over the back. So now this horse would be ready to come up in the other way. So you can start doing some sitting trot with it. And then I'd like to see that. I'd like to see you just stretching up a little more, keeping your contact. Same here in the walk too. I'd like to see you the slack out of the rein a little more in the walking, so it just becomes a little more consistent. Because when we don't have contact consistent, it tends to make things go slow, fast, slow, fast. So great job with this horse though. Really, really good. Wonderful job there. Like you could get just a little more swing, and once again, by virtue of keeping a little more contact there. So great job, and this is Will Faerber from Art to Ride. Wonderfully done.